I used to be called Sachi. That was like my first artist like platform. My name was Sachi, and
Okay.
that's what this tattoo means right here. How's it going?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good, good. Just chilling outside right now.
I hear some birds chirping. Whereabouts are
Yeah,
you?
right. I'm in Toluca Lake. It's like 10 minutes outside Hollywood.
Oh, right on, man. Cool. So are you originally from LA?
No, I'm originally from Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. Tell me about that. Tell me about growing up in Westchester.
Um, it's kind of like a pretty small town. It's like 30 minutes outside Philly.
Okay.
Um, Super chill, more like rural. Um, but I like Westchester. I lived there from when I was like in seventh grade until I was 18, and then I moved to LA.
Okay.
But yeah, I mostly grew up in Delaware and Pennsylvania.
Right on. And how did you get into music?
I got into music through my grandma. She like sang and played guitar for her whole life basically, and she kind of got me into guitar when I was like 5. She would just like teach me little songs, and then
Wow.
my parents started getting me guitar lessons when I was like 7, and kind of went from there. Started taking singing when I was like 10, and then I took it more serious around when I was like 15. Like I want to do this as like a career.
Sure. Wow. So you were like really into it early.
Oh
That's
yeah,
cool. I mean, so
100%.
was your grandma like is that what she did professionally? Was she a singer-songwriter?
No, she was a teacher, but she just always played guitar and sang, and she would play at like her church and like at like events like weddings and stuff sometimes.
That's cool. So you had a chance to see her play, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's really cool. That must have been exciting as a kid to see your grandma up there.
Yeah, right.
That's a
Killing
rad.
it.
That's so rad. So you picked up guitar very, very early on. Obviously,
Yeah.
was it something that you're just drawn to immediately?
Yeah, I just always really liked guitar, and then once I realized that like I kind of wanted to put something with it, and I was like, well, I'm gonna try singing, and then now it's more like I'm more of a singer than a guitar player. But yeah, once I started singing, I just like fell in love with it, and that's when I like really started to see like my progression was when I would sing and play guitar,
Hmm.
and then I would just do it all the time for hours and hours every single day. And then like I said, when I was like 15, I ended up moving to well, actually I think I was 16
Hmm.
turning 17. I moved to Orlando, Florida, because I was part of this like agency for like acting, modeling, dancing, and like singing.
Oh, rad. How'd you get involved in that?
um I originally was gonna do like modeling, and my aunt was living in Orlando at the time, and she was in the fashion industry, so she knew a lot of agencies out there.
Hmm.
And she introduced me to this one guy, Doug, um, who owns this thing called Pop Shop, and it was kind of like I was just saying, like you go there and like they like help train you in all those aspects, and
Uh-huh.
basically make you like they're training to be like a Disney star type deal.
Sure.
So I moved there for like a year, and I went to an art school as well, where I also took guitar and singing and acting, and then I would go and to the pop shop and I would learn more. And that's kind of where that year from when I was like 16 to 17 was when I think where I really like went from like intermediate to like very advanced in
Hmm.
all those fields. And then that's when I was a part of this band called C5, and I went to China.
Wow.
Yeah, and we got to perform on these 2 TV shows on CCTV, and just had an insane experience out there.
Wow. Was that like a pop group or was it like something that you
Yeah,
put
it was like a
together as
pop. Yeah, it was like a pop group. Um, it was definitely like I liked it, but after I came back, it was like I was like I don't really want to be in a group because I don't know. I just like being a solo artist and having
Mhm.
control over everything that I'm doing.
Mhm.
And the kind of music that they were trying to make wasn't really the kind I wanted to make. So I ended up just going back to Pennsylvania and going back to my other high school, and then I ended up actually dropping out as a senior. I still finished school online,
Mhm.
but I dropped out, and that's when I was doing live streaming on this platform called YouNow,
Okay.
and that's how I was able to like afford to move to LA when I was like about to turn 19.
Okay. Well, real quick on the group that went to China, were you writing? Was it music that was kind of given to you guys to perform, or
Yeah, yeah,
you
kind
didn't
of.
get a
It was
chance to really
more
write
like
your own
that.
songs?
Yeah, it was kind of more like the K-pop type style, I'd
Sure.
say. I mean, that wasn't really my fit, but it definitely was like a huge experience that made me realize, like, hell yeah, I want to do this. Like, it was so cool to like be able to go on a foreign TV show and like just experience that, and
Right. That's awesome.
definitely gave me super like a lot of motivation to move forward with my career.
Sure. And then you got on You Now. You're not, I've talked to another artist that kind of got their start on You Now. I'd never heard of it until
Yeah,
recently.
yeah. So kind of died down uh now, but like 2 years ago, 2 3 years ago, it was super popping. It was like most of the people that you see on like the big TikTok people and like social media YouTubers and stuff,
Uh-huh.
most of them started like on You Now. It was like a
Really?
OG. Yeah, it was like it came out like around when Vine came out,
Okay.
and it was just like a kind of like how Twitch is,
Mm-hmm.
a little different, and you could just live stream anything, and once you reach like a certain amount of views and followers, you could get partnered, and then you could make money. You can on Twitch, like people can
Like
tip
donate to
you.
you. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like their currency was gold bars, so that's how streamers could make money. So I started doing that, and I got to where I was able to get partnered, and I was doing really well on it, and that's how I came out here.
Wow.
um yeah, it was crazy.
Was
i
that
i
just
was
something you're putting up like original like what were you streaming?
I
Just
was
your own
just I
songs?
was just sing and play guitar and just talk.
That's
Yeah,
rad.
yeah, and I just gained a good fan base, and that's how I started like my that's how I got my other social medias getting going, and like my music started doing better. I dropped like a couple songs on SoundCloud
Mm-hmm.
that like did pretty well, and yeah, I don't know. I went to this event called Playlist Live in
Uh-huh.
Orlando, and that's where I met these three girls that invited me to come out to LA. I came out, and then I ended up moving in with them for like 4 months, and
Mm-hmm.
then I got my own place with some of my friends, and yeah, it was just like I was just like I've always wanted to live in LA, and I'm still here. I love it here.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, didn't you have a song that you put like produced on GarageBand that kind of blew up for you? Is
Yes. Well, like I used to be called Sachi. That was like my first artist like platform. My name was Sachi, and
okay.
that's what this tattoo means right here.
Oh, rad.
And
Okay.
yeah, and I had like not nothing crazy, but I had this one song that I put out that I it wasn't on GarageBand. I did it with this guy Josh in Philly,
Mm-hmm.
and it did pretty well. It got like 300,000, and
Wow.
just out of nowhere. I didn't put anything into it or anything. I didn't even know what I was doing at the point. I just kind of just wanted to put music out, and
Sure.
because all my friends and everyone was telling me you got to put something out, and so I got in contact with the producer and I put a song out. First time I ever was in a studio, besides when I was in China. But yeah, it was a cool song, way different than like the stuff I make now. But that's kind of where I was like, wow, like organically these people just want to hear my music. So it just lit a whole nother fire when it came to like writing. And that's where I feel like I developed my writing was more later on. I started writing songs around 15, but I think I really got better after I saw that growth.
Yeah, like you got validated as like an artist. Sure, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I wrote the song and I sang it and I played guitar. So like kind of gave me like, okay, so I actually can do this. Like
right.
So
and people care.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the hardest part, I feel, for all artists is like, you know, you put so much hard work into it and like seeing that other people love your stuff, it's a surreal feeling, especially when you get to like meet them in real life, which I've only gotten to do a couple times, but like I only played
the pandemic probably put a damper in that, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, honestly, I don't look at it too negatively. I think honestly, in my opinion, it was kind of positive for my career because before the pandemic, I was making more of like pop, like more just straight pop music, and I always wanted to do more like pop punk or punk because that's like what I grew up on, and that's kind of what I've done, and especially with the recent songs I've put out, and I feel like if I didn't do that, if the quarantine didn't happen, I feel like I wouldn't have like really self-evaluated and, you know, gone to my team and been like, this is what I really want to do.
Interesting. So you've like, because you're putting out, I did hear you had some earlier releases that definitely had that pop realm, and then like the most recent, like Boy with a Broken Heart and Fuck About It, like those are definitely more in that pop punk realm.
For sure.
Like tell me about that moment. Like what was there something that sparked it that you're like, you know what, this really isn't what I want to be doing, I want to focus more in this lane?
For sure. I mean, I just grew up on like just punk rock and pop punk my whole life. Like my parents listened to it when they were growing up. Like,
oh, that's
so it was just kind of passed down.
What were they listening to? I'm just curious.
I mean, Nirvana, Blink-182, Green Day. Green Day is one of my favorites. I mean, All American Rejects, Plain White T's, like
that's cool.
Just a classic, like 2000s punk rock.
That's right. I love it.
Some of my favorite.
That's my favorite. So I got my Blink poster right here, and Green Day is my favorite band too. So that's awesome that you like Green Day.
I love Green Day. I want to get a tattoo for Green Day. I have it, and then I also take influences from like other artists too, like more recent. Like I do love like I loved like Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, Lil Peep. Like I have tattoos for all of them.
Oh, sick.
And then I have the Nirvana one right
there.
Oh
yeah, that's dope.
So like I definitely try to tie in like the 2000s to like the 2021 to kind of make it like a mix. But definitely punk is my favorite to make and listen to. And that's where when I was like listening to my music, it was like I love all the music I make. I wouldn't put it out if I didn't love it, but I wanted to listen to my music and be like, this is what I like to listen to on my own time. Like if I came across my song and it wasn't like, if I was an outsider coming across my song, and if I would listen to it, the music that I'm putting out right now, I totally would listen to it. And like that, I feel like is like the most important thing to me.
Sure. And was Boy with the Broken Heart the first one that you came to your team with and said, hey, this is what I want to start pursuing?
I would say no. I think this one song I did a while back. It's not out yet. It's called Paranoia. I think that was the first song I did where I truly like unlocked my more like punk voice, because it like singing in the like punk, it's just so much different. In my opinion, it's way harder.
Really?
Than singing like in like a normal like pop voice. You have to add
That's
that
interesting.
grit and like the raspiness, and just I feel like it just has more emotion, and like
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to explain it. You have to like develop a whole new sound for your voice after, like, because I was like taught classically to sing like R&B and like that kind
Right.
of stuff. So like developing my new sound definitely took some time. But once I made this song Paranoia, I feel like that's where I really unlocked something in me that
Mhm.
I never did before. And then the songs after that were all like just better and better and better. And to this day I'm still just like better and better. Like I have a lot of unreleased music that is like my favorite music, and nobody's ever heard it. So I'm
That's
just super
amazing.
excited to be able to put it out soon.
Sure. I think it's interesting that because you were classically trained and you have
Yeah,
an amazing voice, that you think that going to the punk stuff is more difficult. Whereas like I would think it'd be the opposite but it's in one of those things where people that aren't classically trained or don't really know how to sing, they use the
yeah,
grit and like the punk sound to kind of mask the
hmm,
fact that they don't know what they're doing. You know what I
exactly,
mean?
for sure.
So you're trying to like retrain your brain to like not
Yeah, and it's
sing
cool because
correctly.
exactly, yeah, and it's cool. I'm glad I was trained that way because, like, I feel like I can hit like higher notes, and like I can
Sure.
do runs and stuff. So like I can incorporate it into the new sound to make it. And also, if I want to, I can pull out one of my acoustic pop songs and sing it really well on
Mhm.
stage, and like kind of I feel like it might shock people if they've never heard that side of me. So they'd be like, "Oh, so he can sing like this, but he also can sing like that."
Right. You'll
So
never lose the fact that you're an amazing singer aside from like, singing in punk, like you said, it's just like a
yeah,
different,
yeah,
more
it's just
grit, but
different.
like you
Yeah.
can get out there and still kill it as just like a traditional vocalist,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
most punk rock guys can't do.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah. So I'm definitely happy. I was able to work with people early on to learn that.
That's amazing. Well, I did see that you have an EP coming out at some point this year, right?
Yes, I don't have an exact date yet, but I'm hoping I'm gonna be putting it out this summer, probably late
Amazing.
summer. And
And
I have another single coming out soon. It's called Dead Inside.
okay.
And this is probably like I have two favorites, and this is one of them. And like both of the two favorites are not out yet, but Dead Inside is like most of my team's favorite, and definitely one of my favorites. It's an insane song that like to take everything to the next level.
Love it. Was it different when you started writing the punk stuff, like as far as like lyrically and like, did you have to go to a different place?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I can kind of write absolutely whatever I want on this, on like in like the punk realm. It's like the more crazy you are with the lyrics, the better it is. You know, like you can say whatever you want, and that's why I feel like it's so much more fun to me in the studio, where I can just express whatever I'm feeling and put it into the song. And like even some weird lyrics just fit sometimes. And like even in the song I just put out, it's just like you you can be mean, you can be nice, you can be happy, sad, like anything. Where I feel like in my other in like pop, you can't so much just say whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just like being able to write what's on my mind.
I love that. And you said this kind of transformation kind of happened when quarantine happened, right?
Yeah, this I think this all happened. It was like
Oh,
November,
2019 or 2020.
November 2020.
Oh, okay.
In November, December 2020. That's when I like sat down with my team and like developed a plan and stuff to roll out like the new me kind of.
Awesome. What were you up to like right pre-pandemic? I mean like in March.
Um, I mean, I put out this song called Miami, which is
Uh-huh.
actually my biggest song still.
Yeah, that song does
And
really well.
yeah, that's an amazing song. and it's like just like an acoustic song, just like a bass and guitar. And then I did a music video for it. It did really well, and I was actually planning on going on tour as the opener for this band, Why Don't We? Right before the pandemic happened, and then the pandemic happened, so I couldn't do that. So that was definitely a big bummer. But like I said, I feel like that is a blessing in disguise, because if I were to go on tour, I would have been a pop artist going on tour, and then like I feel like I never really would have switched over, and it would have been a lot harder to like go from those pop fans to punk fans and like do that transition. So it was a blessing in disguise, in my opinion.
Well, man, like kudos to you for even, I mean, Miami, like you said, is your highest streaming song. It has 2.6 million plays, or 1.6 million plays. And then to take that to your team and say, hey, like, yeah, this is working, but I want to do this.
Exactly.
And just take a leap. And I mean, obviously that's working for you too, because you still have hundreds of thousands of streams on the new songs.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like the most recent song I put out, Fuck About It, is actually doing the best, the quickest out of any song I've ever put out. So
that's amazing.
I'm super excited. I got the most support I've ever gotten on a song, with like playlists and just like social media in general, like people just hitting me up being like, yo, this is it, like I love this song, like, and just making the music video for that song was so much fun. I got to drive like a old school Mustang, and it was just so much fun. But
that's rad. I mean, like I said, that's really cool that you just followed your gut and were like, you know what, I'm going to try to, this is working, but I'm going to try to do what I'm like most passionate about. And obviously it's working out for you. So that's incredible.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm just like super happy that like not a lot of people like really like took it in a bad way. I feel like most of my people that were with me from the beginning were just like, if you knew me well, you knew that this is like what I love. So it's like, just like when I was Sachi and I transferred back to my name, Noah Cunane, it was kind of similar to that, where I had to just like be like, hey guys, like I just want to be me, and then again I am just trying to be me. So it's like if you like me, then you're gonna like this.
I love it. That's so cool. And I'm sure that was probably even a bit scary to do that too. Were you worried about losing fans?
I really just like I didn't really care. I just wanted to just do it. Like I didn't care if I lost fans, gained fans. Like for me, being an artist is like expressing myself and not really giving a shit what anyone else says. So it's like, I love that people love it, but if you don't, then you don't. Like, I love you, but it's all good vibes for me. I'm just trying to, live my best life, make music, tell stories, be relatable, be real with people. Yeah.
I love it, man. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I do have
Super
one more.
Nice out.
Yeah. I do have one more question for you, man. Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Like I was saying, whatever, like anybody says, honestly, that, you put your mind to something, you work hard, put the hours in, you're going to get somewhere regardless of how long it takes. I've been doing it a long time, a lot longer than most people, but when I decided, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I just put in the work, and I got the benefits, and I feel like that's honestly the best thing I could say is the more you practice and the more you connect with people and be yourself, instead of just like going along with society, and kind of try to just be different and set an example, and follow whatever you love. Bringing it backwards.